All right, John, why are we working with gym owners and not something else? Because these are things, a lot of the things that we are running through are things that I've learned, picked up in another field. I learned in transitioning what I had done in a heating and air conditioning company, and transitioning the sales process and your offers from this traditional, we come in and fix a thing and walk away and send you a bill, and all these processes are scattered to the wind and there's no opportunities to sell over and over again, all this stuff. And so we had kind of built this into a business. It wasn't my business, but I was the, what's the word? I like basically head of that service department. So we went through all of that stuff, and all those things made sense to me. I never even thought when I had my gym to apply it to that. I don't know. When I opened a gym, it just never really came across to me. But as we got going, and as the years passed, and I wasn't at my gym anymore, and I was in Europe, and we're coming across all these other gym owners, we started to see these problems, but we didn't really know going into it, like the solutions for you and I, where we're going to come in and make a business. We weren't sure that it was going to be gym owners in the beginning. Gym owners were our people,
right?
But not necessarily our business as we were building a business.
No, because it would make no sense. It made no sense, and I guess the best way to describe that is like we got to know gym owners really well, and what we were doing with Strong Fit, even though we were helping them kind of on the coaching side and on the service side. I got to know gym owners well enough to know, right, this is not historically a group of people that like spending a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
They weren't historically people that they got sold a lot, and they were so damn busy. Like gym owners as a group of people, right, they're like the epitome of like bootstrapping, like solopreneur type people, which I definitely endears me like to them quite a bit, on top of the fact that like they are our people, just because like both you and I, like we come from athletic backgrounds, right? We played sports all through high school, right? I played sports in college. The people that are in the gym culture, guess what they did? They did those same things. A lot of people that are our friends look a lot like us. They're big and they're bearded, right? It happens to all kind of work in that. And so it makes it easy, but those were kind of like, they were just our people, opposed to, that's not where the business was. And I guess the best way to just, like, for me, as I was putting together our business on the side of things, as we started helping, right, different companies in different industries. I wasn't helping gyms, right?
No, because we thought gym owners didn't have money. Yeah, I thought they didn't have money to spend on these types of things. Well, just because I didn't think going into it that I would have spent money on such a thing with my gym. It was like what we talk about with sales. I was like, shit, I never had money to be spending on these types of things. So what we had done at first was very labor intensive for us. It's a lot of work. It's us doing everything for you. And that works for businesses and industries with very deep pockets, and they want to offload some of that responsibility and stuff. It had to be done very differently for gym owners because the landscape of it is just very different, and it's changed a lot in the last year and a half.
Well, yeah, and early on when we were building our business, right, business 101, especially like in this marketing virtual space, is you go and build a product or you build services where money is.
Yeah.
So very early on, honestly, like we were making the majority of our money on our side was actually helping franchisee owners, right? Yeah. Whether you're working with like pool companies, lawn companies, pizza companies, like food restaurants, whatever it is, franchisees. And that's where I started. I got really endeared. A lot of the mentors I followed early on were people that would take these principles or concepts that would work in mail marketing, or would work over here in this space, or would work over here, like Julian with Strong Fit, right? You take philosophical things and would apply them elsewhere and make them work. And that really clicked for me in my brain, because it was stuff where it was like, okay, I want to take this idea, this works over here, can this work over here? And some of the best advice that I ever got was like, the way you differentiate yourself, the way you make your business different or your idea different is go take what's working in the real estate space, go take what's working in totally unrelated niche that you're in or niche that you work in, and apply, just look what's working there, and now apply it to your thing, because now you don't look like everybody else. Because what ends up happening is this echo chamber happens and everybody just copies what each other
Yeah.
are doing. And it's like, okay, well, how do you break through the bullshit? How do you get through that white noise? And it's like, well, let's just take what works elsewhere and plug it here. And so I was doing that for franchisee owners. And talk about people that have like marketing budgets, have money to spend, want to be able to set things.
Money they have to spend, by the way.
They have to.
Part of the thing is like, we got to spend X on this and Y on this. And so for us coming in is we're like, oh, well, we understand these principles. I think we know how to make this stuff work. I think this can work for them. You start going down this road in an industry that maybe we're less familiar with. We're a little bit less familiar with the personalities when it comes to franchisees. And then you had kind of came to that conclusion, John, where you were just like, you could make a lot of money on this, but...
Yeah. And I even put a lot of work into it. Like I did a lot of preliminary work to position us in the market and doing a bunch of stuff. And you
were interviewing franchisees from all over the world for quite a while, building up like the knowledge base for it and understanding what moves could or should be made.
Because
all
what did
to
I
do
want?
what?
Well,
to go,
I hate this.
This isn't, my heart's not in this.
And that was it. And that was like, and so it will look and sound very familiar because what I saw was way too much information that was out there. I wanted to be able to help people cut through the noise, cut through the bullshit, quickly identify things that could help them either make decisions faster, help them be more efficient, and on the back end be rewarded for building those resources and making them easier. And just essentially my desire or interest in helping was there. But boy, like the people I'm talking to, the businesses I'm dealing with, these weren't people that bought a pool company or bought a lawn company
because they love it,
because they want to help people keep their lawns nice, right? It was like it wasn't that. It was just people that were like a P&L sheet, profits and loss, numbers. Like these were businessmen, and I realized, oh, I hate you. I hate this. I hate everything that you're about. I hate it. And there's only one group that I still work with, and it's because their mentality is their ethos. And we talked a little bit about like our ethos and what you and I see of like our origin story type things, of those ideas of what makes us tick. That's what makes them tick. And that's why I'm like, you know what? We're going to continue to work with this. Like, this isn't something that I'm stepping away from, but it was definitely one of those things where I was like, the money literally doesn't matter. I don't care because I hate this.
So all of that work done, essentially everything, all of the principles we had tuned up and the principles we had tested in multiple industries now. Right. And we had gym clients that we had ran these things through, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we end up at this point where what happens is we start saying yes to people. So you say yes, and this franchise thing opens up more opportunities. Like, shit, there's some money in this. Instead, it's leave the money on the table because I can't just do this. Don't want to make this to scale. I don't want to do this for 100 people or 500 people. Not if it's like the franchisee thing. It's very similar to those of you out there. We've heard from people that have coached athletes of varying levels. Right? It is much less satisfying taking an athlete who is, let's say, on a grade of gold medalist being like an A+, right?
Sure.
Getting somebody from an A- to an A, that athlete doesn't appreciate you that much. That athlete and all of the things around them they're going to get most of the credit for that as they deserve. And your impact is very minimal. And not only that, you could be swapped out for almost anybody, and that athlete will still be successful. So how important and how valuable are you, right?
Right.
Whereas what I always loved when I was coaching people who would come in off the streets and you could just change their fucking lives, dude.
Yeah.
Like they come in and they go, oh man, it's like they're at a turning point. And you coach them through and you guide them. And a year from now, this person's lost 50, 60, 70 pounds. They feel different. You take somebody from an F to a B. Yeah. And that's what got me fired up. And that's why, like, when we started shifting this over, it's like the success we were having with gym owners got me fired up the way having success with athletes I was coaching went, which is like, yes, dude, like I knew it. Like I knew you could do it. This is you know, like that's a very different thing than helping a guy who's gonna make a lot of money make a little bit more money. And that's not the game. That's, by the way, there's money to be had in that. You and I just aren't interested in replicating that out and spending all this time building a system to then turn it over and sell and interact in ways that just aren't satisfying to us. So gym owners always have been our people. And running this business kind of through and teaching them through these principles is the way to help our people. And that's the thing, all the things nowadays in 2021, 2022, like finding your people and helping them succeed, like that is the thing right now. The world's very fragmented. It's all over the place, but you can really make a difference in the people that matter to you. And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, because definitely the idea of like the fragmentation of just genuinely trying to help people, right, is like that big piece, because I think the tribalism gets so strong. The us versus them mentality. People are getting so sick of it, they're just shutting shit off, right? They're just turning TVs off. I'm disconnecting from Facebook completely. Right? I'm getting out of this because I'm so sick of that. To where it's, if you can genuinely try and help people and genuinely try and do the right thing, I think people are starting to feel that. And I think that genuine, like, no frills, no bullshit, we are exactly who we are. Whether you come and hang out with me, or hear me talk, hear you and I talk, or you spend time with me at my home or with my family, right? The same as you did with me, right? You bring your family, our family, spend time together. I don't all of a sudden become a different human being.
Yeah.
And I think that, right? And I think that there are people that are like that, and those are our people. But the people that are full of shit, that pretend like everything's going great all the time and whatever the fuck it is, those aren't our people. So, but I will tell you that the idea of like helping gym owners just fucking crush it, to where you and I looked at it, be like, how can we help more of these people? It didn't start off that way.
Yeah.
The fact is because we knew we could help people early on, the first few folks that reached out, just like you said, we started getting messages, right? So like it's 2019 and it's November.
Yeah.
And
nobody knows what's coming.
Like something's coming. Things feel weird, right? Like there's people talking about things over in the UK and London's starting to close down, but like this is America.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have that.
And all of a sudden, within a few months, almost everybody is peeled back down to zero. Nobody knows when they can open. Nobody knows what they can do. All of a sudden, the entire business being dependent on one method of intake, one method of sales, one service being executed one way.
Large group classes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're as screwed as a gym owner as you would be if you were a concert promoter. It's over. And that the piece that overall health and community health has in how we get through whatever this crisis is critical anyways. So seeing this thing just abandoned was very frustrating for me to see. And seeing people who I already knew and had relationships with that were good people essentially being locked out of their own businesses and told it doesn't matter what you do, you can't feed your family. But what they did, the people we worked with did, first off, many of them, it was on their own accord. Right? They were just figuring it out. What can I do to offer? But that thinking differently, I can fulfill this way. I can offer this service. But that takes a little bit, and there's a lot out there. So like you said, people start stamping out, I see other people do this. Let's just start building this. And we, at that time, by the way, this is new times for everybody. We're going, they're coming to us saying, can you help me do this? And so what we would do, we were saying, yes, I want to help, whatever you want. Yeah, okay.
Whatever you need.
And we had a couple sneaking suspicions in the beginning where I was like, this still seems a little bit out of order, but they're in their market. They know their people. We kind of let that be. We made the stuff. And by the way, it was great shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? They loved it, whatever. And it did serve their function. But because it was so out of order for some of them, it's like, well, now what?
Well, and what was happening was, because people saw you and I in this larger community, right, of hundreds of coaches and people executing what appeared to be, right, was Facebook groups and was virtual meetings and coaching that was online. We were helping, right, the another business successfully navigate what appeared to be what now everyone was being forced to navigate. So the conversations that I was having with good people were calling and they were saying, hey, you've been doing Zoom calls, you've been helping manage recordings, you've been helping manage online classes, like this type of thing.
Online
You've done this
products,
right,
online
all this stuff. They go,
classes, things
so
that can be delivered remotely, things that aren't dependent on even your geographical location. All of a sudden,
Right.
gym owners are going, well, if I have to sell to people that can't come to my gym, why am I only trying to sell to people that are within 10 minutes drive from my gym? Now all of a sudden the world opens up. It's weird because everybody else is thinking in the same way. And how do you navigate that? And that's the pieces where after we had started rocking and rolling on some of these things, we went, John, we gotta tighten this up.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it became very evident because we were doing the same things that we knew could make successful, but this is what we step back and what we try and warn everyone that we talk to against. You don't have, this is free, baby. You don't have to pay us for this advice. We'll yell it from the rooftops constantly, which is you have to stop. You have to stop looking at other businesses. You have to stop looking at what they are doing, quote unquote. Stop looking at what they are doing and say, hey, I want to do that too. And then therefore you think you should do that because you don't know their financial situation. You don't know if they took a loan out and that they're fucking drowning and they're going to be out of business in 6 months.
You don't know if they're living off a trust fund and don't have to actually earn any money in order to make this work.
You don't know if
you really
there's so many
know.
pieces, right? There's so many pieces that's what we learned very quickly is that because everyone's position, even if they were in the same niche as you, even if they were another gym owner, you don't know why they're doing what they're doing. And like, surprise, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just doing stuff. And the worst thing ever is that you start doing because you see someone else doing, thinking they have a clue.
And you're only seeing the lens of what they're doing on social media, through the lens of what they're doing on social media and on their website, which is very, very much, if they're doing it well, it's going to look better than it probably is, right? If they're doing the social media stuff well. And if they suck at it, why are you replicating something that's not very good to begin with? And I just think doing anything based on mimicking another gym in your, not just in your market, but just in your field is... Things that work is one thing, but just things that you see, that's not results. Things that look cool, things where you're like, oh, that seems like a good idea. It's like, did it work? How many did they sell? How much money did they make? How much, what's the word I'm looking for? How much social credit did they have to cash in from their members by being really sleazy about this offer? Or are they over soliciting? Are they under soliciting? Are they leaving money? There's way too much stuff that goes into it than just like, oh, they offered this thing that I kind of like. Okay, well, that's one step. Pile up those ideas, but we need to put them in order, and it needs to be done the right way.
And do they have the infrastructure to manage that? Just because this looks like this is working really well. It's like, oh, well, yeah, but he's now divorced. Yeah. Right? Because he's now working 80 to 90 hours a week to make this function. Yeah. And the reality is what you're doing is you're trying to make this look like a thing instead of it actually being the thing. And that's where we started saying no. So like you said, it started off where we were saying yes to fucking anything. At the end of the day, it's nice to get paid. We're all hurting. So it was great to get paid. And people were telling us this is what we need. So we had no reason to argue until we got enough projects in that we were finally, the yes was gone. It was like, no.
It started to become no was the answer to.
Exactly.
And it's not about telling people what to do or flexing it, but it's that when things come in and I see this, the answer is very respectfully, not yet.
Right.
You know, because I cannot I can't take money from somebody and then put it into a thing and have it not work for them. If I take money from somebody and they don't make that money back quickly, that's bad money. To them, that is bad money. And by the way, there's plenty of things that people spend money on that don't give them money, that don't pay back. But the world I want to live in is, remember, we got into gym owners worried that they didn't have enough money. Mm-hmm. Right? So what we're doing with this thing is we'll give you the first few steps to make sure that you know some very basic ways to make more money. And they're ways that you can take with you forever. So now this gym owners market with a few of the first basic things that we can offer with this first kind of run through, and we can really empower them and educate them on how to do it. As they run through this first thing, they have the tools and the know-how and everything to produce a lot more money. Now they want to start going down the road with some other things, then we can talk, right? You have your affairs in order, you have money, now you're a viable client for me. But I can't come in and do work for people that don't have, I don't want to take somebody's last $1,000.
No, exactly.
Or last 5,000 or last 10,000. I won't do that. You know what I mean? And so if you give me your last 1,000, it better turn into 10 or 20 or 50 or 100.
And it's because we're good people deep down.
Yeah.
But that's this much because you need to understand, like respectfully, understand why this is the case. We want you to make $10,000 after paying us $1,000, because I want you to then pay us $10,000 because we're going to help you make $100,000. Like it needs to be understood. Like it's in our best interest for you to be successful. Because if you're not successful, and this is this is anyone that's claiming, and this is what I got so sick of, and this is why when I told you this is what I want to do and this is the direction we needed to go, not because we want to, but we need to, we have to. Because like you said, the question was, why gym owners? It never was gym owners. Like, we didn't choose gym owners. Gym owners chose us, period. Yeah. End of story, like hard stop. And I was so passionate about it because I was sick and fucking tired of people selling gym owner stuff that was all philosophy, mumbo jumbo, hippie bullshit that didn't have a practical application to allow a coach to then go make more money with the skills they were learning. It was driving me goddamn insane. And that's why I told you it needed to be, we're going to teach them to do a thing, but then the most important thing is how to take that thing and immediately cash in. There has to be a return on investment. Yeah. And that return on investment can not only be knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and that's the piece that we had maybe not gotten quite right in the first few iterations we were going through this stuff. Is
Absolutely.
That the first thing we thought we were going to do is inform and help, like really, really, how do I want to put this, John? We wanted to really like go down this whole path, like lay this whole thing out and be like, here's all your stuff. But we found we needed the most condensed version, because some of these people can't come in and get into a very long-term or expensive relationship with a long process, because they can't see that far ahead right now and they don't see the short-term benefits. So we had to come in right away and align this whole process with a very strong short-term benefit that is not taking a ton of time from you, that you can just go in, you can figure this stuff out. We teach that stuff very, very concisely in a very thorough way. This isn't a course, it's essentially is a workbook on your business.
Right.
You're going through and you're working through these things on your business, and then you go, all right, now here's what we're doing. But we built that into a way that is going to make it very, very easy for people to turn around the money that they throw this way. So it's not gone. It's just not gone. You walk away with the skills, and the skills that can make you money. And the reason that when you settled on that, you had kind of settled on this path when we talked about this, that made the most sense to me is, as coaches, as gym owners, right? Someone comes into your gym and you give them results. Boy, you give someone results over 3 months, and then they're going to be with you for 6, and then they'll be with you for a year, and you have to continue to deliver, and you have to. I can't come in and say, I need you to sign up for 5 years, John. And you're like, well, when am I going to lose the weight? It's like, well, we're going to spend the first 3 making sure that you have a flawless air squat. I mean, 3 years straight. That would be an absolutely atrocious sales pitch, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to come in and I want to get you the results early on that are going to keep you coming back. Because it is in our best interest for our clients to have money and have success. I'm not doing the turn and burn thing, the churn and burn. That's not what, you wouldn't want to do that with your clients. That's a bad model for a gym, and it's a bad model for us. We try to do all of these things, kind of these patterns need to work from top to bottom. And that's when I started seeing like, oh, this is the perfect way to get people into this, is you come in and you're going to do thing A for X price. And you're going to make X times whatever amount right away. Good. And then we can talk. You can just run that puppy until you got money burning a hole in your pocket, and you come back to us and say, what can we do now? And then we'll talk about what that stuff is. But coming in right away, I mean, I think that is like the, I don't know, I think that's the main thing that people need to take away, is that gym owners have always been our people, and that we're not here to just take, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it is all about genuinely fulfilling and making sure that our people are taken care of.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there are some people out there, and these are folks that we are going to be making sure that we affiliate ourselves with, that we bring to our community, are going to be these organizations that are good people, that are good orgs that are out there, that are companies that are doing it the right way and they're doing the right things, that are truly helping gym owners do their jobs, to function, to do better, right? We always, the idea is, and so this is where that is where I really want us to sit, because if we are called to be able to support gym owners, because that's truly how I feel about this, is that this isn't something that was the grand plan. This was something that pulled me out of my chair because I couldn't sit back and watch people struggle any longer. And so that's why it definitely is that it's why gym owners chose us, and therefore it can't just stop at this. It has to be then how can we support everybody from every single angle and make sure that nobody ever again feels like that if anything happens again, like what we have experienced over the last 18 months, that no one will ever again feel like they're alone on an island, that they have the support that they need.
So if people are interested in kind of starting this like feedback loop of success, where do we want them to go here? We have a Facebook group.
It's like the Gym Owners Movement. We'll have a link to it.
Gym Owners Movement is the group title. So we'll have a link in the description and all this stuff here. But Gym Owners Group on Facebook, or Gym Owners Movement on Facebook. You can also find the Gym Owners Podcast on Instagram. You're going to find it on Spotify, all that other good stuff. Apple. You can find me at Tyler F. and Stone on Instagram. Find John at JBanksFL. Go Gators.
Yep, there it is.
I'm trying to think of what else we wanted to get out there. But if you have any questions, you can shoot us an email as well. If you want to have some long form discussion directly with us, you can just shoot us an email if you want to feel us out. That's info@hackyourgym.com.
You can go to hackyourgym.com too, and you can find all that information.
But get in the group. Get in the Facebook group.
Right.
It's private. It's not open to the public. It's us. We're running it. There is no bullshit. There's no... this is the spot for all things this. So if the conversation resonates with you, if it made sense to you here as a listener, or at least as a gym owner, if you have a gym owner in your life, send this their way.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.